Hello, welcome back. This is Bradley Emerson on Tips in 10. I'm going to talk a little bit more about the reasons why managers fail. The last time we spoke about how the eagerness drives people down. I'm going to talk about eagerness. I'm going to use the word lust here. Now, lust not as in how we know lust, but lust more as in craving. I want to talk about lust as in an intense desire, not necessarily the lust that we commonly associate it with. I'm talking about that intensity of a craving. Now, you need to be passionate about what you do. There's no doubt about it. There has to be a direct connection between your passion to do something and the results that you get. And it's critical to have that connection. There's no doubt about it. But the outcome, we talked about pride the last time, the outcome is when you have a craving. When you have a craving to draw attention. When you have a craving to acquire more power. When you have a craving to make more money. That's the kind of lust I'm talking about. The craving, the intense craving to be recognized, the intense craving to be more powerful, the intense craving for accelerate your career progression, the intense craving for recognition and so-called the worship. So when you have that craving driving you, you tend to sort of break doing the right things the right way. Because you have in your mind, you already moved to a position of recognition, you have moved to a position of power, you already moved to a position of finance, you already moved to a position of control in your mind. Because that's what the craving does to you. It elevates you subconsciously to a position that you are not in. Then what do? Then you try to do things to take your physical body to that mental position as quickly as possible. So it is a behavior, it's an internal drive which we lose track of. We create this inner craving, which is natural. If you don't control, it can become a disaster, and that's why a lot of the managers, after a certain time, you find their ratings of their interpersonal skills, their performance, their strategies, their thinking capacity all begin to deteriorate. Because there is a process of development of a human being. There is a timeline, decades of life that actually the maturity hits in, the thinking pattern changes. But what happens, the craving, the lust for power, recognition, money, takes your position to a what shall I say, a floating position, in unnatural position. And then you try to bring your real person to where your unreal person is. And you will try to do things as much as possible, find shortcuts to get your position to that craved position. And that would drive you down. It gives you a short-term gratification. The moment you feel that I could be this, and you feel the reality of being what you could be, and it gives you satisfaction. It starts massaging your ego. It creates expectation of yourself. It will create recognition of yourself by yourself. And you begin to expect the people around you to give you that recognition. That's that intense craving that drives younger managers down. You got to control this. It gives you a lot of gratification at the moment. Unless you control, it can create chaos. So what do? You begin to move to your false position, which has been created by a craving. You want people to like you, you want people to recognize you, you want people to praise you, you want people to agree to all what you say. So you start moving up there. That craving tries to pull you, and that is the time you begin to lose control over your values. You begin to lose control over your morals. You're trying to find shortcuts to get there as quickly as possible. You forget that the rules and regulations are there to be guided, and then you try to run. And you therefore, you force people to follow you. You force people to follow you. There are enough cases in the corporate world. I will be talking about it later in the series. There are enough cases in the corporate world how people, because of their craving, because of their intense craving, because of lust for recognition, power and money, have breached what you should normally do and have got exposed, disgraced, and have got destroyed. So lust, in the sense of intense craving for recognition, intense craving for finances, intense craving for power, intense craving for control, intense craving for glory, which is not really there, makes you find the shortcuts. Now, when you find the shortcuts, what happens to you? When you find the shortcut, you lose your ability to think and strategize. If you have to run it right, if you have to run it clean, you are constrained. When you are constrained is the time that you innovate. Your green hat, the thinking hat, the imagination hat begins to work when your resources are less and when you have constraints. There are two things that you can do when you have constraints. One is to imagine and create a new route. Other is to find a shortcut. And most people take the easy way out, find a shortcut, break the rule, and you assume no one will know. You don't realize as a manager, when you take a shortcut, you are taking the entire followers with you down the wrong route. And you have a responsibility to make sure, either when you leave or when they leave, that they have learned the right things, they have learned the good things from you. When you have lust, you don't teach the people to follow the right way. You don't teach the people to persevere. You don't teach the people to endure. You don't teach the people to have the courage to stay the course. Most of all, you don't develop character. Craving destroys your character. Intense craving removes your personality and brings you down. It's a very short-term gratification that you will stand up on the podium and get recognition. But sooner, when people get to know that the route that you have taken is not the right route, you're going to crash down hard. So this is one of the reasons why managers fail. That intense craving, accelerated positioning of yourself brings you down, because you begin to find shortcuts to get to where you want to go faster. That's the lust that I'm talking about. Don't move away from the right thing. It's always good to do the right thing the right way. It may take time, but it is going to be sustainable. If you take a shortcut, it is not only you who is going the wrong way, everyone who is following you is going the wrong way. And you're doing wrong by the people who are following you. Thank you very much. Catch you at the next episode.